Welcome back to my series of Jusant gameplay. So last time we were in chapter 3, we learned a little bit more about the drought and some of the characters, why they are going on expeditions and why they're kind of forced to do it. So it's mainly because of peer pressure. But people who are, in their teens, they're going to be facing a lot of peer pressure in their lives. So now we're going to continue our story in part 5. And this is chapter 4. So one of the things that I found out is all of these things that hang above, they're different lengths all the time. So I don't know. Okay. So let's go do a little bit of digging around. Service memo. The old canal is finally clean and locks 4 to 7 have been serviced. In all my time as water surveyor, I've never seen water level this low, but at least I was able to give the canal a good clean. Let's just say it was about time. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I've never been this filthy in my entire life. Off the clock for this sleep until next time. Ida. So these canals, they definitely have water in it, or else they won't need cleaning. If they're bone dry, I don't think they would need any servicing, I suppose. Let's go down there and take a look. I'm just gonna hop down. Who cares if she breaks her leg, but she won't. Video game character logic. Okay, seems like there's nothing down here. So press up to call for sparks. Okay, now I called it. So jump to be carried by sparks. Oh no! I accidentally let go too soon. Okay, let me try this again. Okay, so now I know how to do it. You have to hold on to the X button, the jump button. Okay, something I need to do here. Jump off here. Apparently doesn't allow me. I have to grapple down. This looks nice. Okay, let me kind of take a quick walk. Let's see what's in here. Okay. So two blues and one red. Okay. Okay, there's nothing here. So now I have to climb up the ladder. Hopefully I'll find something. So this is a room. Let's play Rock Jenga. Okay. So are there any other things in here that are worth exploring? It looks very dark. It doesn't seem... Okay. There's nothing here, so I'm going to go to the other side. Follow that arrow. On that side, so I'll just get in this doorway and just follow. Oh, what's in there? Couldn't go through there. So this is the next best course of action. There are three main ways I can go about it. So should I climb up here or walk through here first? So this seems to be like a room, so I'm just gonna take a look first. So I guess this is the shell that needs to be collected, one of the blue circles. Like I can hear somebody humming in the background. And the most common theme is the water sounds and children giggling. And we can see so many tools suggest that there's a civilization that used to live here. Okay, so let me go a little bit further. Logbook. To the peaks I go, come what may. From chasm to salt marsh I make my way. To the peaks I go, come what may. To find my true love again one day. To find my true love again one day. Up in the clouds I went astray. From ravine to frozen pass of gray. The clouds watch me as I might wing my way. Will I find my true love again one day? Soul was saying that to himself as we gathered for drinks. I asked him to repeat it to me later. When he was young, Soul would hear the old woman singing that song. Let's just say he's not as young as he used to be. The clouds watch me as I make my way. To him, it's a confirmation. The song is a map. Following the words will lead us to the wellest. Mete didn't say a word, and she can usually out-chatter a beak. We returned empty-handed, but it felt good to be climbing as a trio again. Like as we first set on our climb, everything was so much simpler back then. She's tired of this expedition. She's sick of all the water in the cloud stuff. She doesn't believe in it anymore, or not enough. She doesn't know what to do. Return to low tide? Is there even anyone left there anymore? She dares to ask those questions I merely write down. If ballasts were real, why would they stay in the clouds? Could they be stuck here because of the cycle stop? Or is their presence stopping the world from waking up? And what am I doing on this hunting expedition? I miss my lighthouse. Is Highfield's old sundial in someone's thoughts too? One place for the ocean and another for the sun. Are there others? No one seems to be paying these old shipwrecks from another era much notice. We've gotten used to them by now. If we've forgotten that. What else would have forgotten? It worries me to see Mete withdraw her shell more and more with each sleep, but she's still climbing. Come what may, Bianca. This is very, very interesting because this kind of says that a lot of these people who are, especially the younger generation who go on expeditions, they are losing faith in their ability to find new resources. And I could understand that because if you put so much effort into doing something, but you come back out with nothing, that is certainly a disheartening feeling. And hearing that these shipwrecks are from the last era, something has really happened to all this. Why has this happened? Would have thought. Hey Mama, Cedric asked me to clear out the cellar so they could store their furniture there, and I came across some old clothes that must have belonged to Grandpa. They don't look like anything we wear here anyway. I had to throw them all out. Some sorts had made their nests in them and shoot them all out. I wonder what's it like up there, the storm. Did you ever go back? You said it drove Grandpa completely crazy, but I never got a chance to talk to him about it. No, he never talked about anything much. The old man wasn't the chattiest of folks. The wind picked up. I don't remember how old I was. I could barely stand on my own 2 feet. That was a long time ago. When a storm like that comes along, I wasn't allowed to go outside. I wasn't allowed to do much. Come to think of it, those were different times, eh? Then everything stopped apart, you know, but up there, oh, the raging storms suck. The wind howled and howled. It was enough to drive you mad. We wouldn't live up there anymore, you see, so we came down here. And now there's talks of climbing down again. Will it ever end? So it was different. Things were certainly different. So there are several generations of people. So the grandparents, the adults, and child. Let's just put it that way. The 3 generations. So the grandparents, they've seen everything. They probably know what it used to be like when the weather was normal. But the newer generation, the adult generation, has probably witnessed it when they were still a child. But they could kind of vaguely remember it. But as children, they were born into this drought. And being part of this drought is very, very different. So, as children, they don't understand what rain is. They've probably never seen the earth as it was supposed to be. So everything is dry, everything is like a barren wasteland. So that's why these people set up expeditions, is to find more water and other resources. But what I kind of notice is that they don't mention anything about cars or even planes. Yes, thank you for support. Thanks to you, we'll continue to work to protect our 3 humps Taurians. Without your help, we would never have been able to renovate our shelter. I was also happy to announce that the time has come. We can release some of our rescued Saurians back into the wild. This time we're working with spark showroom grows to preserve shaded areas vital to Saurians. I'm confident that reintroducing back into the natural habitat will be a success. So how we're going to help the remaining ones adapt your plane. But now that this first phase is complete, at least the species survival is assured. Thank you again, Anne. So as we see here, a lot lot of things. Like, some of the things have happened. Protecting wildlife has become... Yes, it's become more of a priority now. So, as people needed to adapt, they need to save their resources. So now everybody, like especially the people with more authority, the adults, they're trying to preserve their, you know, their community. So they need to set up rules and, kind of like curfews and stuff like that, so that they don't lose everything, they don't waste anything, and also help find more of it. So when they say grandpa's old clothes, I'm assuming that those are more like our, like kind of like, the clothes that we wear nowadays. But what they wear now is probably closer to what this character is wearing right now, with all the body, those guards on their legs, and the climbing gear, I suppose. Okay, so now I need to make my way up. This is kind of a little bit lost here. So you see all these different animals. They don't look like Earth animals. This could be either like another Earth, or it could be in, this has been like a more of a long distant future, where kind of like resources, where it had an apocalyptic future, things have happened. So my thesis of this character having a different Earth, or apocalyptic Earth still exists. Because things that are here, it pretty much resembles what we have now. Jen, are you still around? How are things there? Still no rain? I hosted a group of off chasing clouds or whatever is still in them. We had a great time, and I got a new housemate out of it too. The youngster who reminded me of you. It'll be nice having two of us to run what's left of the farm. Hey old man, great to hear from you. I'm glad to know you're in good company. Cass and I are actually just talking about the odd jobs I used to do. It's been a while now since the harvest, hasn't it? When I think back to it now, it seems crazy how many people would come help me pick up the sparkle shrooms. Well, mostly because of the pies you'd make for them for snack time. You never did give me the recipe. Yeah, some of the vegetation, it's different. We docked for a while at the home of the old local farmer, Gal. To him, always having a wall within reach and a roof over your head is comforting. The feeling of safety you don't get in the open air. He made me laugh. The sky? No, thank you. I saw it once and it made me dizzy. Gal seemed to be all alone in the world, but he can't bring himself to leave the tower. We don't have to ask twice for him to tell us about water. He mainly remembers the sound it made when he was just a tadpole, as he put it, and the silence that followed the drought. He spoke of full canals and waterfalls of mud and pearly skin, and I wasn't the only one listening. In the light of the glowing mushrooms, people's faces were exhausted, but their eyes were bright. The entire group hung on his every word. Who will listen to his stories once we're gone? We ended up staying at the farm, delaying our departure just a little longer. There was no shortage of excuses. Gal's farm needed extra hands. There was a building frame to repair, spare parts to track down, ropes to replace. It felt good to be working on something concrete rather than wearing myself out on an interminable climb chasing after legends. Probably the same feeling that keeps me craving for my little sculptures. When it's time to leave, Metin stayed behind. There was no need to explain. The group understood. All of us were secretly hoping to stay at Gal's farm. Well, I was, but I guess I'm looking out a glimmer of hope for this expedition. Saying goodbye to Mete was probably the hardest thing I could ever do since I started this climb. I don't know if I feel like writing anymore or I have the energy to. Goodbye, maybe. So, looking at this, some have gone on a climb. It's kind of like how you pray to the gods for a downpour, like how some older, older civilization used to believe. So I'm suspecting the reason that mainly why they do this expedition is because they just need more resources. And sometimes these expeditions, they last a long time. It's kind of similar to like the army going on a tour. So it is very taxing for sure, based on how I read it so far. So there is still a blue and a red circle. I don't think right now I have too much problems managing my stamina. But I try to limit my jumps as much as I can and try to plan everything. Okay, I missed that one. Okay, so I see another green circle, but I want to take a look at what's here first. This painting looks kind of like an hourglass. Or it could be their interpretation of a ballast. I don't know. I'm probably making that up. Okay, so let me go back to where I came from. This morning I forgot to drink and drink. And cried tears of joy because my toast was so delicious. I'm so wound up I can't get anything done. I don't know if I should blame the drought, the evacuation that started, or the end of the world. Anyway, I've got mushrooms to grow. This kind of confirms why the civilization that used to live here that they left is because of this drought. Nobody can afford to live here anymore because of lack of water. And yeah, that has been a huge problem. Without any sort of running water, it is certainly something that you can do without. So that has led to the massive migration of these people, why they left this place. That's why it's all empty now, but it still has a rich history, wonderful artwork. And you can see the whole infrastructure here. So that led me to believe why these characters are around here roaming. Because there are a lot of technologies that used to be back in the time, like those ships. Because when we were reading it, we haven't really heard anything like cars or planes or anything of that sort, because either that this is a far distant future where the knowledge pool has shrunk tremendously or has been lost. So technology has kind of stepped backwards. Because they have ships and stuff, but they just don't have cars. or they don't have any way to fly across. And it seems to me like they're praying for, you know, for it to rain. Like they have some agriculture, but it's not enough. Like they couldn't grow anything. Say no to locks. Water and people should be able to flow freely. We can't deny them many of for the sake of the few. In the current crisis, and duty extend solidarity with living things. To confine the water is to confine us all. Regular information sessions at the market canteen, the White Water Collective. So it seems like this White Water Collective is like a committee of people trying to preserve as much water. But in times of crisis, water is becoming a more scarce resource. So when people are, you know, need more of that, you know, they can't afford to consume water. So I guess there's always a difference of opinion of people. So the White Water Committee, as we just, you know, read about, they are probably the ones that are safeguarding all these resources, like in, you know, in the name of trying to protect the civilization. Community canteen have got a permanent team to fight water insecurity, fundraising dinners for White Water Collective, repair workshops. Note, canteen will open 1 hour earlier to reduce overcrowding and pay what you can to help. Kitchen. Yeah, so water insecurity just is just another word meaning that, yeah, we're running low on water. You can't afford to use up the most available water. Maybe they, because as we see here, there's a lot of these barrels around. So if they're not used to collect water to be used, then what are they for? And as we read, okay, no one comes by anymore. I haven't sold a single flower. Should I switch careers? I don't know how to do anything besides taking care of plants and use more poetry, right? Or at least where's the river? Yeah. So things that require water to grow, or businesses, they're starting to wane. Like even people that go on expeditions, like the sad truth is that people do, you know, probably die from it, and some couldn't return because of that. So what kind of happened? So my hypothesis is that what sort of happened after that is that when people are desperate, they'll find ways to try to protect themselves, even though it's the best interest of the public. And you see the canteens doing it, like kind of like a collective, like kind of like a meeting is like they try their best to make this as civilized as possible, while not injecting any, you know, fright, you know, make it even more frightening than it is. So as we see in the upcoming, you know, last few letters, we do learn a little bit more about what kind of committees there are, what people are trying to do, and how, and people's desperation kind of grew from that. Okay, let me just go over to the left side. Let me see what's there. I don't think I've been in there. Umbrella Gazette, issue 39. In this issue of the Gazette, we'll be looking at an animal from outside for once, the weavebeak. Weavebeak is the only animal found in every region of the tower, every known region of these. Sometimes they even venture into our tunnels. These medium-sized birds are known for their all-white feathers and blue comb. It's not uncommon to see playful birds gliding through the warm drafts that rise up to the cliffs of the tower. They are also extremely curious and often found perched near climbing roots, observing and commenting on what's happening with their fellow birds. Not only are weavebacks social creatures, they're also skilled builders. They work together to build their nests, which have multiple entrances and can house dozens of weavebeaks. They are constantly strengthening and expanding their nests and are always working on lookout for twigs, hence the expression of working like a weavebeak. Did you know weavebeak combs open and close depending on the mood? A wide open comb means that the weavebeak is alert or stressed about something or someone, but enough chatter keep bringing the birds. Dear editor, I've only read the editorial and I'm already outraged. It sounds very nice, but you might want to think twice before publishing such nonsense. Weavebeaks are thieves. They're always stealing my wood to build their nest. I'm unsubscribing, Simon Squirrel Citizen. Well, that's too bad. Like in society, there's going to be people that would agree or not agree on your opinion on things. Come now, dear friend, enough moping around. The situation isn't as hopeless as that. I'm quite certain the water supply is being managed by some very competent people. I have no doubt that they have a very clever plan to get us out of this mess. Believe me, there is no cause for concern. Are still come over for tea? We have filled the basin. Nothing like a bit of swimming to chase away the blues. Well, it seems to me that the writer of that has a lot of resources, but not everybody is that lucky. So this could be a person that kind of, you know, it's kind of like the stages of grief, where I think, yeah, they're kind of like denying the fact that they're in so much problem that they chose to like deny that fact. Well, I'm not sure if that's called denying, but at least they don't seem worried about it, or they just are a little bit oblivious of the situation. That they don't care less to conserve, water, and rather use it for swimming. Because swimming, as everybody know, it uses a whole lot of water. And if you use it for swimming, you can't really drink it. Okay, I used a bit too much stamina there. Okay, I need to catch on that. That was super close. Almost fell. This is one of the places I have to visit. Okay, I think we are pretty close to kind of close to the end. I'm not 100% sure. At least we hit a safe mark. as I'm playing along, I feel that I'm getting more and more gutsy about like reaching higher places and trying not to anchor myself as much. It's not really a good habit to have. Okay, so now I'm trying to aim to go to the blue circle first. Let me see what's around here. So this looks like, to me, this looks like the structure of how things were grown, like their agriculture. Like you see the big, square on near the top, like that looks like it's, that looks like some fish. It looks like a pond, and then it's up in the mountain, and then it used to funnel water through the cliffs to water plants. It kind of looks like that through my understanding. It's incredible. I'm sure civilizations like this exist in the real world. I think there's one part in China that's like that. I forgot what it's called. Like, is it Wuhan or somewhere? Like they live off a cliff because all their buildings. I think I Show Speed also visited in China, and it's showing that there was a subway train that goes through a building. So that city literally is built on a mountain. So there are actual, civilizations that are like that. What's pretty funny around here is that this is inside a cave, but these jellyfishes are glowing. That's where I don't really quite understand. Sorry, I have to go to the market. Their water inlet is acting up again. Things are starting to get complicated. I thought that holding back water, but there's nothing to be done. The basins are empty. I think it's time for a more radical change. What would have happened if we let the water flow from the start? I'm boring you with my musings, but sometimes I get the feeling we made a big mistake. There's a pier collapsing in the boatman district. You think you could take care of it? Things are non-stop at the moment. I have to go fishing for a new team to shore it up. It's already over at the two-pillar site. As for the other stuff, I don't know what to say. What's done is done. Alright, I'll pick up the supplies I need, then I'm off to the boat district. So a lot of these things, what has been happening is like two schools of thought. They think that why there's a drought is people are being too greedy, hoarding water. Hey big guy, I hope you're well. I still don't like the thought of perched above that basin. It's too big, I mean. You'd be better off in your tunnels where it's cozier. You might have already heard by man's bar is finally back on dry land. They can't drive it anymore, they say, but you can see them. It's never been so busy. You're working at a SOAR rescue center. If you say SOAR seriously, they look so disgruntled, like they're judging us. That's what matters. Your father played a song for you. It was beautiful. May the courage be kind to wherever they are. So these people, they have been living in these hills or for so long that it's quite different, like lifestyle. They're not used to a certain lifestyle, like they say they're not used to the open air, so it kind of sounds like they are subterraneans. Let's climb on to see if we can find more clues. Yes, but there are desperation to find more resources, like water, and food supplies are drying up because, as we know, vegetables, meats require a lot of water. To farm and grow, it's not easy. So you see, there are a lot of containers to hold water, with pots and pans. People used to live